Greetings, I'm Rob Chapman.
And I'm the captain.
We've got some really interesting new pedals here, haven't we?
Well, are they? I mean, what's quite nice about these is that they kind of aren't. They're just good, old-fashioned, good-sounding, you know, a man who's gone, I'm going to just use normal components and not get too wizardry and everything and just try and make a pedal that sounds good. Hurrah! It's our favourite kind of product. So, tenuous link to Chapman. Chapman Guitars has a lovely artist called Chris Mike.
Yep.
Not the Greekest sounding name ever, but I can assure you he is Greek.
I think it's his British name.
It's probably Christophilos Makahopoulos.
No offence intended to anybody from Greece, and in particular Chris Mike, who was one of the best guitar players I've ever known
and
from
an
Greece.
Absolute sweetheart. Anyway, so at the NAMM show, Chris said, "Can you come and meet my other friend called Chris, who
knew a guy called Chris?
Who I think he owns the company, or if he doesn't, he's one of the senior guys there, who owns a pedal company based out of Greece called Crazy Tube Circuits, who ironically I'd been to see at NAMM maybe 2 or 3 years ago and thought their pedals were really, really, really good sounding, and I absolutely, completely escapes me as to why we didn't order them then. But yeah, so he introduced me to the chap, Chris from Crazy Tube Circuits, and we tried some pedals and we like the pedals a lot, and they're sensibly priced, and so we're stocking them. And I said to Chris, I said, look, you know, I'm shooting videos with Rob all the time. Tell me which, you know, 2 pedals you think are the coolest ones that you make or whatever, and we'll feature them.
In fact, this Black Magic in particular is so good that I really thought we had gain on from the amp and it was just adding a little bit of something on top.
Yeah.
But it wasn't at all. It's just the pedal.
Yeah, it's a J-FET cascaded gain structure. It's super, super simple. It's got a passive 3-band EQ on it. It's got gain, presence, volume. There's a boost circuit built in here. This is, I'm sure someone else has done this, but this isn't a feature that you see on lots of pedals, so maybe it is unique to the Black Magic. The boost switch can be switched to either just boost the volume or just boost the gain or boost the volume and the gain, and there's just a little 3-way switch here. There's even internally a couple of switches that allow you to sort of set this for anything from sort of mild gain to extreme gain, but we haven't
The only pedal I know of that does that for sure is the Headbone.
What, the radial one? I don't know. I genuinely, it doesn't seem like a terribly radical feature, but I am struggling to think of what I've seen it on, but maybe I haven't. So that's the Black Magic, and we'll go through that in a minute. It's very cool. And then the other one is a reverb pedal called the Splash. Again,
great film.
Nothing, yeah, this is Splash 3. I don't think that was quite so good. Daryl Hannah was about 80 by the time that she filmed Splash 3. She's a bit of a ropey mermaid. Hello. Yeah, it's dried out fish. She's been on the beach for like nearly 20 years. Like, put me back in the water. So the only thing it does have on it, again, which some of the guys that perhaps like to play around with some more ambient effects is kind of cool. It has the mix control has a pull switch on it so that you can actually kill the dry signal and just hear the wet signal, so you get these big kind of crazy ambient sounds.
Yeah.
But let's go with
clean tone.
A clean tone.
Just without any effects, so they can hear what we're starting from.
So it's clean with a tinge of hair, isn't it? So if I just start, I'll just turn this on and I'll fiddle the knobs and while Rob plays, and then we'll kick the boost in and show you what that does for the different gain settings. Rob, of course, is using probably not the guitar that I would have picked for this video.
It's my new guitar.
He's just bought it as a result of the previous video we did. Pretty much all the guitars you own have come from doing a video and liking it and just buying.
The thing is,
Otherwise you don't shop, do you?
Help myself. And if I pick up a guitar and it's unique and it feels a certain way, if I can afford it, I'm just going to have it.
I actually thought this guitar was more expensive than it actually is in the videos. I thought this was £400 or £500, and it turned out it's like £380 or something.
It's an absolute. If you've seen the review, it's an absolute shred wizard.
So we'll swap with some different guitars to give you some ideas. But here we go. Let's just get into this, man.
Yeah, a little
bit of reverb, just to... Well, that sure does sound mighty fine, Mr. Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Captain.
Let's try it with a more conventional guitar.
Loving the...
Yeah, curly leads. We're stocking these from Ernie Ball. They're curly and white, like an old man's pubic hairs. It's beautiful. It's beefy, isn't it? What's it do a bit sort of more laid back?
Crunch. That's absolutely monstrous sounding.
It does that. I think I like it more as a high gain pedal.
Yeah.
I'm less, it's definitely all about finding that sweet spot where the guitar starts to go into that natural feedback and sustain thing, isn't it? It's.
I remember a story about Guthrie Govan when he was trying out an amplifier, and there was a switch on it. It was a Victory amp. There was a switch on it that took it, added extra sustain, and he went, well, why would you ever want it off?
Yeah.
And I think it's the same with this. When you put it on and you play your Filthy Captain. Can I try exactly the same settings now and see if that bright, sort of beautiful harmonic filth is still dedans?
We've managed to do the whole thing without doing a Carlos Santana tune either.
That's all she wrote. I suppose we really play with the settings on the Splash as well.
Okay, so that's the Black Magic. Yeah, let's switch the gain off for the minute. There's 3 modes on the Splash. Effectively, one is small reverb, 2 is medium reverb, 3 is big reverb. Excite, decay are the sort of the tone and the length of the reverb, if you like, and then mix and volume will be. That's unusual to see mix and volume, isn't it? But yeah. I guess one is mix and one is volume. Hey, so let's start with mode 1 and see what kind of a tone we get. Just going to put it through the totally clean amplifier rather than because I think you'll hear the reverbs better. But here we go. This is the totally clean. I must have read the manual wrong because it definitely isn't 1 is the least and 3 is the most of these modes.
Oh.
It sounds like, I don't know, it sounds like 2 is the least and 1 is the most and 3 is somewhere in the middle. But whatever, perhaps I should go back and read the manual. But they're clearly changing the amount of basic reverb.
Either way, it's fabulous.
Let's put it on its kind of like crazy big mode, and then we'll show you this thing where you kill the dry tone. So now you've got no dry tone here. there isn't. It's kind of a shame you can't foot switch that on and off, unless you've got. Have you got very dexterous toes, like claw-like toes? So you could go barefoot, could you, and clasp that between your sort of big toe and your second toe, and literally.
Maybe I could train my son to do that, and I could have him on a bungee and dangle him down.
I've got to be honest with you. Every time I see a guitar player playing with bare feet, it does a little bit of sick comes up my mouth. I'm really not a fan. And if I was to ever see a guitar player turning a pedal on and off with their bare foot, I would never be able to buy that pedal. Not that particular, not that brand of pedal, but I couldn't buy that from them on eBay. Or
this is cool.
Like
it does a nice thing with arpeggio. Well, that's a very haunting arpeggio.
And if I put the dry back in, it sounds like this. Some of those notes sound like a cello, don't they? When you hear those really...
It's doing the violin technique for you.
Yeah.
That was really, really uniquely...
I'll leave you.
That might be one of my new favourite sounds of all time.
It's a cool sound, isn't it?
That's really cool. So, what's the damage financially?
Well,
you can have this.
179.
Right.
195.
Wow.
So they're kind of, they're in that price bracket of sort of, but not like,
Affordable.
Don't really know if
pushing the boundaries of what people.
I don't really know if you would apply the word affordable, either great or to pedals that are £200.
The question really is how much.
It's a great sounding pedal.
Yeah.
I still can't get over the fact that you're playing that guitar, Rob.
I love it.
I know. Just don't get me wrong. It's not that it's not sounding great and completely suiting you. It's just, if I could pick 100 guitars that you might like, that would be the 100. That would be last.
I think it might be because I'm a dad now, and this is way more of a. I got a.
Tomorrow you're going to turn up in a cardigan and a pair of corduroys as well, aren't you?
I'm going to go shopping guitar. I took one little
breath. You're going to grow a handlebar moustache overnight.
I took one breath of F-hole air, and I was just addicted to the dulcet feel and tones of this beautiful Gretsch. And I think when Theodore Chapman...
Have you done your homework?
I had flashbacks to my dad, who literally used to say, if I didn't have homework, do you know what used to happen? He used to give me homework.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if I didn't have homework, ladies and gentlemen, he would give me homework. He would say, Robert, write down and tell me about how the light bulb was invented. And I'd have to go and research steam engines.
Can you remember?
How
was the light bulb invented then?
Well, it was very dark.
I knew I'd catch you on this one.
Edison, and there was a...
Yeah, do you know what? You've got to... nowadays all the breakthroughs that we have are so scientifically, computery sort of done like that. You just think, what must it have been like years ago to have gone, I know, I'll fly a kite into the sky with a key on the end of a bit of string, wait for the lightning to come and see what happens.
I think that's all just a ruse, and actually aliens go, and give them a bit of technology, and they go, but you can't tell anybody, and they go, okay, kite, key.
No, I disagree. I mean, who worked out that if you heated up some form of stuff that you get out of the ground, it can melt, and then you can mould it into like something just like an axe or a.
Look, I'm not going to say it was aliens.
You work that out?
But it was aliens.
It obviously wasn't aliens. It was Vikings. I think that was Pete's in the corner.
There was steel that actually came out of the volcanoes, and then they took that and they dried.
I don't believe that.
Viking aliens.
I don't believe that anybody went. I know. We'll. You know, who would have
They just waited till it dried, and then it was really hard, and they go, oh, hang on.
Meteorite.
The history lesson coming out of. I think this is what they teach them in Denmark, just to make them feel significant. They said, yeah, we invented everything in Denmark. The Vikings, especially Lego. Even the Vikings, they invented Lego. No, I don't know. I'm just. I don't even know where we're going with this conversation.
Let's throw it on the floor.
Oh, it's because we wanted to talk about how did the light bulb get invented through your homework. But yeah,
I'm just going to put my wildest blind fatigued. Wasn't it Thomas Edison?
Pretty sure it was Thomas Edison. Or did he invent the telephone? No, that was Alexander Bell.
Yes. Well done.
Okay.
So I think I know something, and that was it. I think that's what it was. I knew.
I like the idea that he invented the light bulb based off the fact that it was dark and he just needed a way to make it light.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. How can I resolve this problem?
Candles! They're just such a pain. They're just like, there must be a better way. But I mean, you think about what goes into a light bulb, all the gas and the filament, and how do you even begin to... Amazing.
He wasn't the real genius.
What about tube amps? I mean, where do you even start?
He wasn't the real genius, though.
Was he not?
Tesla. He was the real genius.
What, the guy that makes the cars?
Nikola Tesla.
Ah, yes.
The most underrated genius of all time.
Now, he, of course, didn't... When the argument was going off about how to move electricity from one place to another, you had the guy that had the DC current and the guy that had the AC, and I forget which one Tesla was, but I don't think he got the credit that he was due, did he?
No, because he worked out how to do it for free. People that do that get shot, yo. Anyway, I've been Rob Chapman.
And I've been the Captain. You've been watching the History Channel, and there we are. What he says. Bizarre ending. Bye. Crazy. Bizarre ending.
This is Rory from the UK. Tell me about Rory.
So he edits videos. Rory's awesome.